Hi, welcome to This Expat Life. My name is Amanda Maxime, and as a certified coach, I help high-achieving expats find more fulfillment and happiness in their global lives. Because while life abroad is often amazing, it is not only rainbows and butterflies, as all experienced expats know. In This Expat Life, I open up space for all facets of life abroad and what you can do to thrive in it. And to support you in your personal, professional, and geographic life transitions, I share tips, tell relatable stories, and connect with fellow expats. Whether you've just moved abroad or you are a seasoned expat, This Expat Life is your place to find real understanding and to grow from the inside out. Enjoy the show. Hello, welcome back to This Expat Life. And I am recording this again from my living room in The Hague, where autumn has really started. So just last week and the beginning of this week, I spent a couple days in Italy, really enjoying summer there. I was on the beach twice, reading so many books, eating such good pasta, having a glass of wine, and I spent a lot of quality time with my high school besties, and we had so much fun. But now I'm back. And fully back, and I'm also really excited to be back and to be working because I am in a really exciting time of my coaching practice. At the time of recording, in a couple of days, we will have a masterclass that I'm hosting on the art of clear, confident decisions in a global life. And at the time of recording, I just checked, 308 people have already signed up. So I'm really, really excited to be talking to so many people all across the globe. It's really exciting. I'm also opening doors to the Co-Pilot, my online and group program, soon again. And this is the program that helps you make, rock solid decisions and live a really authentic life according to what you need. And I am also taking off again early December. I am going to spend 3 months abroad. I'm going to Arizona for my business event. Then I am going to El Salvador for a wedding of a really good friend. And then I'm going to Mexico for 2 months. So this is really exciting too, and really looking forward to it. And this is also what is allowing me to really enjoy autumn as much as I can. I really struggle with these, especially this season, but winter as well. Today is super gray, it's cold. I know there's a storm coming, and it really affects my energy and my mood. But because I'm leaving soon, I'm here for it. I'm finally wearing a sweater again. It's a sweater I bought in the US, so I'm excited for this change of season, and I really want to make the most of autumn. So yeah. And speaking about my 3-month trip, time abroad, this is also something that, it's a decision I made a couple of months ago already, I think in June, when I decided, okay, it's going to be Mexico. And the exact how and when, I wasn't quite sure yet. And now I finally figured it out. But I realized I was falling a little bit into the trap that I see many other people fall into as well. And that is the trap of circling and overthinking and just feeling a little bit stuck. In our episode last week, I think it was, I spoke about the 6 mistakes that many expats make when it comes to facing a decision. And overthinking your decision is one of them, where you feel like, okay, I just need to think more. I need to think harder. Then I can get to my decision. And in my years of coaching, I have seen the opposite. The more you think, actually, the less clear it gets. And I saw the same with my own decision of the practicalities and trying to figure everything out. And I kind of fell in this trap of even though I've made my decision, I hadn't really acted on it yet. I kind of fell in this trap of overthinking again. And then I realized, no, it's not going to get any clearer by just overthinking it. So just go ahead, just book the flights and you will figure it out. And that's what I'm doing right now. The flights are booked. I'm very, very excited to be going. I still have some stuff to take care of that can sometimes worry me a little bit. I'm not immune to any of those things either, where, now that I decided to leave, I'm like, oh, but the Netherlands is so nice. And, my cats, are they going to be okay? These things come up in my head too. But today I wanted to speak a little bit more about this. What can you do if you don't want to be making the 6 mistakes, right, that we spoke about last time? I just shared the more you think, the less clear it gets. And this is also why I don't believe in waiting for clarity to strike like lightning. We often think like, oh, I just need a bit more time until my head is clearer and then I can really think about it. Or some people just wait for like a sign or just something to happen that forces them to make a decision. I have definitely done that myself as well. Whereas like, you know what, I'll just stick my head in the sand and I'll wait for something external that will force me to make a decision or that will decide for me. But I actually don't believe in that. Yeah, occasionally, yeah. But if you want to keep your personal power where it belongs to you, and if you want to make confident, authentic decisions and create a life that really feels good, you want to have something that works. And that, in my eyes, is a repeatable system, something that you can use, that you can make your own, and that you can reuse again when another decision comes up. So most people think one morning they'll just wake up and they will know what is the right decision, but waiting for that bolt of clarity really keeps you in limbo. And when you realize that clarity is built step by step, you take your power back. Just like I was saying, you keep your power with you. And I like the idea of having a system when it comes to decisions. Ever since I became an entrepreneur, I'm really falling in love with systems, even though I'm like wired for chaos and I'm super spontaneous and intuitive. I'm loving systems more and more. And I realized in hindsight that I had already been using a system for my decisions. And it's a system that I now also teach to other expats. And so today I want to share that system with you, that framework, because it's something reliable for you, available to you, no matter where life takes you, geographically or personally. You can always come back to this system. And the system consists of 4 parts. It's like a 4-part framework. And I'm just going to be diving into the 4 parts real quickly. And if you want to dive deeper into it, come to my masterclass or get into the Copilot straight away if you want to work with it. But this is what it entails. I like to have an inside-out approach. So a lot of us, I mentioned this in the last episode, we look really at what is in front of us, the A-B decision, and that's where all our focus and attention goes to. It's to the external part. And I always say, stop, pause, zoom out, and go inside out first. Go do the inner stuff first, connect with yourself, clear out the noise, so you really know what is important to you, and only then move forward. And so this system, this framework, is built on that approach as well. So the first part of it, the fundamental part, is that you need to clarify what really matters to you. So many of us live our lives in a subconscious way based on expectations that we have of ourselves, that others have on us, that society have on us. We live our lives based on societal norms or what is normal, what is the convention. And sometimes we forget that actually what makes a lot of people happy doesn't make you happy. I have seen that. I was just talking about that with a friend 2 days ago, where we were talking about buying a house. I own a house, but I've come to realize, actually, I don't enjoy home ownership at all. I'm someone who likes comfort, who likes to pivot, who likes to move around. I really don't enjoy interior design. Like, I like living in a nice house, but I don't need to be the one doing that. And I'm coming to realize, yeah, it's a good financial investment, and I'm quite happy. I have my house. Like, I know I'm in a privileged position, but yeah, does it really matter to me? Not so much. I was talking to another friend about home ownership, and they were like, oh, just wait till you want to like break a wall or change something in your house. Then you'll want to own a house and not rent it. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't do that kind of stuff. It really doesn't interest me. I'd much rather rent a good, nice looking house than own a home that I need to take a bunch of shit to take care of. So that was just a short example of, it's important to clarify what really matters to you, because if you grow up with this idea of I need to own a home, which is it's a very dominant thought here in the Netherlands, then you think that is the right thing to do. And that's what I thought too. And again, don't get me wrong. I'm happy I own a home for other reasons. but does it really matter to me? No. And so knowing that now, it helps me so much with making decisions, because knowing that I don't really care that much about owning my own home helps me to let go of this home quicker, if that helps in a certain path that I want to take or a certain decision that I need to make, right? If I'm also holding on to what I think should matter, my God, then I'm really juggling a lot of balls. Like I'm holding what really matters to me. I'm holding what really matters to society, what I think I should do. And so you want to dive inwards first and connect to yourself. And you want to make some time and space for this, to really hear your inner voice and feel like, okay, this is what is really important in my life. Now, in the Copilot, I share a bunch of exercises that will help you do this. And one of them is connecting to your values. It's a super simple one, but it's a key one, I think. I really know what my values are. I have 6 core values. And for some, also the people that I coached inside the Copilot, they took a long time on finding their own values because they had never given it that much thought. But then actually really writing out those values and sharing it with the rest of the group really helped them see like, okay, this is what is important to me. And when you know what really matters to you, you can say yes to that and you can say no to everything else. So this helps you so much with your decisions. But it requires honesty. It requires some quietness, because you need to let go of that daily noise and the daily clutter inside your head. So I always say go somewhere for a couple of days, go in nature, go on a vision quest. That's something I do inside the Copilot as well, so that you can really identify what really, really matters to you in your life, not what matters to your parents, your spouse, society, your aunt, whatever, what matters to you. So that is the first step. Now, I can give you so many examples of my own life, of my client's life, of how you can do this and what already changes if you start to really get clear on what matters to you. But one of my clients inside the Copilot, she had been facing a bigger question of, should I stay, should I go, where to, but also how does the future look with my spouse? And yeah, there were some really difficult conversations there. And she was really trapped in overthinking and wanting to do things well and feeling something that she wanted, but also really feeling, but it's time for my spouse now because he has, given up so much for me. So maybe it's now my turn to give something up. And she finally got clear on something related to family life, which was a huge topic for her that really kept her awake at night. And then she got clear on what it is that she really wants. And that was a process of, well, definitely 2-3 months. But she has her answer now. And knowing that, she can go back to her spouse and have that conversation. She can decide on her job because now she knows how her family life ideally looks. Now it helps her decide on the location. And before she was sure about this important puzzle piece, she was going back and forth through the entire puzzle, basically. But now with that puzzle piece, it's more anchored. And she's coming from a stronger position to look at her decisions. So this is why this first part is so important. The second part of the system is feel to decide. And this is one part that so many of us skip because we are rational, we are thoughtful, we are considerate, we want to do things well. So that means we are often stuck in thinking and in doing. We're either thinking about the past and the future and what needs to be done and what do we want? And actually, we are stuck in doing. We keep busy, we feel we need to work harder. It's always doing. And the feeling part, so we have thinking, doing, feeling, and I think we also have being, but okay. The feeling part is something that we tend to avoid. We tend to push, quote unquote, negative emotions away. We tend to suppress them. We tend to numb ourselves, distract ourselves with doom scrolling on Instagram, with shopping, with work, with alcohol, with eating. We don't want to be feeling all the time. And this is exactly why I included it as step 2. Because if you can learn to be with your emotions more, you can use your emotions as data. Data to guide you in your decisions. So when you can see that, when you can recognize what lights you up and what really puts you off, like, that is already key information for your decisions. Now you might think, yeah, duh, but I've seen the opposite in my sessions where so many of them hadn't been realizing that their emotions were actually trying to tell them something. They thought they knew, but actually really tapping into their emotions opened a whole new perspective for them. So that is data. When you get in touch with your emotions, you can also recognize them as such much quicker. So when fear is showing up, so I often see fear and shame coming up for my expats that I coach. Let's talk about fear. It shows up very often as like objective reasons why not to do something, because your subconscious is trying to keep you safe. And so we tend to like negotiate with these reasons objectively in our head. But once we start to recognize it, hey, it's just fear holding me back, you can tackle it in a different way, because it's just fear. It doesn't say anything about whether you want it or not. It just tells you something about, I'm afraid it's not going to work out for me. What if I fail? What if people will think something about it? That's shame. What if I'll be rejected? What if I'm worse off? It's just fear. And so what if your thing turned out to be a success? Would you still not want it? If you still want it, then fear is holding you back. And so you need to work with fear on a different level and really accept the fear, see where it's coming from so that it can dissolve. Fear will always be present, but you learn to work with the fear rather than like push it aside, or worse, let yourself be ruled by it. So this is why feel to decide is so important, because then you can meet fear where it's at and move forward. And, I just mentioned things like about Mexico. Will it work out for me? What if I can't find a good cat sitter, or no one wants to be in my house and take care of my babies? It's just fear trying to be like, Amanda, it's better to stay here. It's better to stay in The Hague. It's safer. That's what you know. Subconsciously, it's saying that. I'm not aware of that all the time, obviously. And I know this because every time I decide to go abroad, I have this coming up. So I just know, it's just my old fear popping up again. I don't need to push it away. I just can be like, yeah, I am worried about my cats, and that's okay. And I'm still going to go ahead with it. Fear, you can take a backseat. You don't need to be in my driver's seat all the time. And I had the same I saw the same in the co-pilot, where, well, actually the feel to decide goes two ways, but one of my clients there, she was so busy, is still busy in her daily life, that she's all the time in thinking and doing. And the moment she goes on holiday, she has this more quiet time to relax, and that's when she can feel more. And this is how also she really felt clearly, this is where I want to go. This is what needs to be done in my life. And the moment she got back, fear took over again. And thankfully now she was able to recognize it as such, that, okay, it's just fear and I'm trying to not feel it and it's holding me back, but I can also just recognize it as such and move forward. And that's what she did. And I'll be sharing that in the fourth part. But there is another element to this feel to decide. And that is that, yes, you can use your emotions as data to guide your decisions. But I also really believe that you need to feel good in order for clarity to land. Often we think, okay, once I know my answer, then I can relax and be happy because, then I finally know what's coming. But I see it as the opposite. If I can feel good now, I will know what is the right thing to do. Because how can you find your answers if you are stuck in stress and worry and anxiety and guilt and whatsoever? How can you see clearly when your view is being blurred with all that stress and these emotions and the what ifs, right? If you feel good, if you feel relaxed, if you feel happy where you are, this is when you can see much clearer about yourself and your life. And this is when you know what is the right step for you. So in this pillar of the framework, I really think it's important not just to use your emotions as data, but also to focus on simply feeling good and fostering those positive emotions and feelings, because that's when clarity will land. And I'm really happy that for almost all of my clients, I think actually for all of them, but not everyone has been super explicit about it, but almost all of them, they have said explicitly to me, wow, I feel so much calmer now. I still don't have my answer. I'm still figuring it out, but I'm relaxed. I trust the process. I'm no longer super restless. I'm not so anxious anymore. So it's not just about the destination, right? The decision, the end result. It's also about the journey towards it. You don't want to be spending months in agony or thinking, worrying about your decision until you know your decision and then it's done. You want to feel good in the whole build up to that decision, right? You want to be relaxed. You want to enjoy where you are. So this pillar is crucial for that as well. Okay, the third pillar is untangle the inner noise. And this is where my deeper coaching work really comes into play. I like to go deep in my coaching. I go really back to beliefs. I help you find your emotions or make space for them. I help you connect to yourself at a really deep level. And we like to go back to childhood stuff to see where it's all coming from so that you can understand it and make changes going forward. And in this pillar, this kind of work is very present too in my eyes, because if you have a deep belief about yourself that you're never good enough, or you are weak or small, or that you are a failure, or that you're not lovable, I'm just mentioning a few that I've seen with my clients. If you hold those really deep beliefs about yourself, and they're often subconscious, and many of us hold them for decades, they influence how you go through your daily life. So your deeper beliefs determine your thoughts, they shape your emotions, they shape your actions, and your actions determine your reality. So if you feel like, oh, I want to move abroad again, or it's time for me to make a huge career pivot, but deep down you don't believe you're good enough, it's going to be a lot harder to take confident action on it, right? And this is why you want to do that kind of work as well. And what I loved, one of my clients also in the co-pilot, she realized that she had been living her life according to the shoulds, especially the shoulds of her parents. And their voices were ingrained in her brain with everything that she did. And she's now in a season of her life, and that's also why she joined the co-pilot, that she's really unlearning to listen to those shoulds. And it's really about, what do I want? What do I really want? And so that deeper ingrained belief of like, I should be doing this, or listening to, other people's shoulds on her, we slowly need to change that into, I'm free to decide and I get to do whatever I want to do. That takes work. But the moment you can do that and you can really change it on the inside, you'll see that you'll look at your life differently as well. And you'll see so many more options available to you, and people will connect to you more easily as well. I personally believe that. Okay, so this work is really important too. You want to change your inner beliefs. You want to untangle that inner noise, how it's holding you back, so that you can move forward with the right mindset. And one of the exercises that I do very often with my clients is the bus exercise. And you have heard me talk about it before. Some people have also come on the show and talk about the bus. And this is really that we look at different parts that exist within you. Feels a bit schizophrenic, but it really helps you to assess, okay, who's driving my bus? And am I happy with that autopilot? Or is it time for a new bus driver? Maybe not all the time, but for a few specific situations. And so if you are stuck in indecision and you can't figure out what is your next step, or you're not taking action on your decision, my guess is that there is a bus driver within you that isn't the right one for you now. So it somehow is holding you back. And you want to do that inner work to really be like, okay, this mindset, these beliefs, this way of being isn't serving me to where I want to go. And indecision might be comfortable in a way, because then I don't need to make a decision and I don't have to put myself out there and take scary action. But if I want to have the life that I want, I need to come up with a different foundation, because if you only try to fix it on the outside, it's not going to work. You want to go the inside first. So you want to work on your beliefs, you want to work on your thoughts, and you want to really see, hey, what part of me is now ready to take the lead in my next chapter? So I often do a lot of exercises on this part as well. And also in my live calls, we really go a bit deeper on, what is going on inside of you and how can you not suppress that if it isn't serving you, but really work with it and move forward in a new way. And then the last pillar, my favorite, and that is decide and take off. So you might wonder with taking off, I mean taking action, right? Really doing something about it. And you might wonder why taking off or taking action is part of the decision-making process or decision system. That is because I really believe that taking action gives you data to see if this is the right path for you or not. Now, I mentioned this hike metaphor a couple times already before on the podcast, where if you're making a hike, you're standing at a crossroads, you have no Google Maps, the path is splitting into left or right, you don't know what is the right path. You're not going to wait there forever till sunset until you know for sure what is the right path before you move. No, you're simply going to move on the right path that you think is the right one. And if after a kilometer you realize this isn't the path for you, you simply return and you take the other one. Life isn't much different. So every step that you take gives you new data for you to assess whether this is the right path for you or not. So, and this, you don't have to go step by step. I really emphasize inside out approach first, but you can include this fourth pillar already into the other work as well, where you're working on yourself and you're taking action at the same time. Because if you wait for everything to be fixed on the inside before you take action, that's the same trap that you were in already, that you need to be 100% certain or 100% ready before you take action. So I always encourage everyone to just start taking action. Start inviting your network for coffees if you are thinking about a career change, just to gather information from them and to build your network again. If you're thinking about moving to a country, go there already and rent an Airbnb for 2 weeks and spend some time there and live as if you are already a local. Go do all that kind of stuff. Take action, because it will give you the input that you need to either make your decision or to pivot after you made your decision. And something that I loved, one of my clients, she was debating 2 different locations and also 2 different career paths, and they were kind of related to each other, so the location and the career question. And she kept going back and forth between the locations, between the career path, and she has this tendency of, again, wanting to be 100% certain before she takes action. And every time she went on holiday, she was really clear about what she wanted, and then when she came back, she wasn't. The same example that I mentioned in the second pillar. And with our work in the Copilot, she now realized, I don't need to wait for the big yes. It was like this light went on in her head. And she said, I just need to trust the small yeses that I find on the way and take action there, and trust that those small yeses will eventually lead me to, in total, bigger decision. So she was waiting for the big yes to make the big decision. And now she's realizing I can just find the small yeses and take action on those. And that will eventually build my next chapter. And I was so happy to see it. I actually saw it in her face when, that hit her. And as a result, not only is she now more relaxed, there was another opportunity for her to buy a home somewhere else, actually not in those 2 locations, which confused her initially even more. And now she realized, actually, this feels really good. And it is aligned to my bigger vision, where I have a place where I can come back to every summer, but not more than that. And so she decided to go ahead with it because it was one of those small yeses that she really felt in her body. This is what excites me. And will I know how it's going to play out for me in the long term with everything else? No. But this part excites me. It fits my bigger vision, and I just really want it. And now she's taking action on it. So I'm so happy. After 2 years of going back and forth in just a couple of weeks, she did a 180 and she made this huge decision. So yay, you go, girl. So this is the framework that I teach other expats to make big decisions or small decisions. And it's the same framework I use myself as well, where it's not just about thinking harder, doing more, or going through it all alone. You actually have a system that you can go back to again and again and quiet the chaos a little bit in your head and not be trapped in the what ifs all the time, right? You have a system. There's a more systematic approach to it. And I'm really happy that it's already transforming the lives of so many others in my one-on-one coaching and in the co-pilot as well. And high achievers, they often think that they should solve it alone. But really the truth is systems and support are what make decisions sustainable and freeing. And the more you can use it, the better, the quicker, the more authentic your decisions will be. I've really seen that play out in so many lives already. And from Berlin to Rio to London to San Diego, I've watched expats step out of endless overthinking and really into peace and confidence regarding their future, even when they still don't know how their future is going to look, because it might not depend on them, right? They might have a visa expiring or a job that's ending. But even when the decision isn't entirely up to them, this system is still giving them the peace of mind and the clarity that they long for. Now, if you feel like, okay, this is what I want too, because I want to stop making these mistakes and I want to get out of overthinking and I want to start 2026 in a new chapter or with a decision for a new chapter and not waste another 6 months just thinking about it and not getting any further, well, then you know that the co-pilot really is your place to be. And doors are opening up next week, Thursday. So I'm not sure when this is going to be published, this episode, but it's going to open on Thursday, October 9th until Tuesday, October 14th from the top of my head. So 6 days where a card is open and you can join the co-pilot in this cohort with a community of very like-minded people who are all going through the same thing. Just the details are different, but below it, everything is the same. And where you can really understand each other because everyone is juggling those global life elements where one decision impacts so many areas of your life. And how do you actually deal with that? Well, with the system that I'm teaching inside the co-pilot. So if you are interested in that, make sure to find me online or listen to This Expat Life on October 9th when card opens, and I will share more details. And until then, I hope to see you in the masterclass also on Monday or Wednesday prior to card open. And if any of this resonated, I would really love to hear. So feel free to send me a DM on Instagram at Amanda Maxime, or find me on LinkedIn, or send me an email at info@amandamaximecoaching.com. Talk to you soon. Have a good day wherever you are. Bye-bye.